Alright guys, Simon here, and we are doing a blind playthrough of the Stanley Parable. It's a mod for Half-Life 2, and it's apparently a story-driven experimental thing. There's no guns or anything, I think it's mostly story. And apparently there's branching paths, so we might be playing this multiple times. And I'm usually kind of wary about stuff like this because we're talking about concepts, we're talking about philosophy, and we're talking about storytelling. And I'm kind of into that sort of thing. And the problem with being into that sort of thing is that when you play someone else's ideas, you because I read these sorts of books and I play these sorts of games, and if there's holes in your logic, I will pick them out. And sometimes I play these indie games and I get disappointed because of that. Like, most people play the game and think, oh, it's a great story and it's deep and meaningful, and I play it and I see the gaps, and then I get sad. Anyway, hopefully this will not turn out like that. I won't name names, but if you've watched all my playthroughs, you'll know which ones I'm talking about, the ones that have gaps that I don't like. Alright, so let's just play this and see what happens. So you can, if you play Half-Life 2 before, you recognize, source. You can see the loading bar and all that. Everything's quite familiar.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor next to his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, how much am I getting paid to do this?
And then one day something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on a monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and walked out into the hallway.
No, he didn't. Look, how much am I being paid? If I'm Stanley, and I'm getting paid, say, $30,000, I might quit the job. If I'm getting, per year, I mean. If I'm getting paid $60,000, I might be okay with it. If I'm getting paid like $100,000 a year to sit in a room and push buttons, I'll do it. I'll just keep doing it. Any more than that, I'm just gonna keep doing it because I'm quite happy. You paying me that much money to do nothing all day? Maybe I'll like bring in a Game Boy DS, or like bring in an iPad or something and just kind of play games while I push buttons. Also, I'm not walking out into the hallway, I'm waiting for instructions. That's my job. No, this is my job. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for instructions. Actually, what's for lunch? Do we have lunch? I can't crouch. Nope, I can't crouch. We can't check for lunch. That usually means there's someone observing us. Like a giant mirror in a room. That usually means someone's behind there watching us. Also, I don't have a reflection. That's unusual. That means there's not actually a mirror in the game. Oh, lag. Hopefully that's not too bad. I don't have a reflection. Is that part of the story, or is that something in the... Wait a minute, that's a different room. Oh, I see, it's a different room, it's a window. Interesting, I thought it was a mirror. Nope, it's a window. I can't jump either, and I can't press buttons. No instructions. Huh. That's not a mirror. There's a surveillance room next door. That door is open as well. It's a different room though. Nope, nope. I'm getting paid to sit here and press buttons. I'm gonna wait a minute. What is that What is that program? That looks like an audio editing program, but it's not quite. Is it like a video editing program? That looks like, or is that the Source SDK? Is this guy making a game here? What does that look like to you? The keyboard it's broken in half. I think that's just the problem with the texture. I don't think it's really meant to be like that. That looks like an audio mixer. We are making movies or something. We're making games maybe. Are we mocapping? Are we... Okay, so apparently we can't beat the game by doing our job. Version 1.84.6. Okay, so we can't beat the game just by doing our job. So let's not do our job and get fired.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Stanley is like the complete opposite of me. I don't really need that much human contact. I'm kind of okay by myself, so I'm already not feeling like I'm Stanley. None of these doors have handles. Interesting. So yeah, I'm perfectly okay to just go back in the room and keep waiting for buttons to press. I don't know, like the game talks at you and it's telling you who you are. That's kind of strange. Okay, there's a window. Wait a minute, what's that guy drawing on that screen? I think they're actually making games in this company. Look at those screens. And this door's gonna close.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
And here you can choose to do something else if you really want to. Okay, let's just do what he tells us first. Mail. Can we check for mail? Can I read other people's mail? Nope. There's a lot of things we're not doing in this game. It's got a handle, but you can't open it. A convection heater? Oh, it's an actual object. We don't have a gravity gun, so we can't play with it.
As Stanley entered the lounge, he was horrified to find not a single person here. He decided he would walk up to see his boss, hoping that he would find an answer there.
I am not horrified. Hey, Dr. Breen's here as well. Nice. Maybe we're working for the Combine. Maybe every time we press a button, we kill someone. Because that's what the Combine do, right? Can I push these things? Oh, I can't push these things. They're objects though. You can hear the sound when you walk up against them. What is this? That looks like... I don't know what that is. Okay, that's like a plan and elevations. Huh. Is that something from the Half-Life universe? Not sure. Popular scientist. I think this is from the Half-Life universe. That's Eli, right? That black guy. Electronics. That's a microchip. And pins for the microchip, I think. Barney. Patrol. What's MP? Alright, so that's a timetable for Barney. What is that? Is it an eyeball or something? Graphs? More electronics? Uncle Kleiner. Yeah, so it's Barney and Vance and Kleiner. So this is from Half-Life 2. Another room. Another This guy has wires coming out of the wall. They may be software developers.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright. We'll come back and then play it again and see what happens when we don't do what he tells us. We'll go through all the paths.
Entering his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. It was at this point that he began to feel dizzy and a little sick, and even thought he might pass out when suddenly he noticed a keypad next to the filing cabinet in the corner of his boss's office. Stanley had never seen this panel before and had no idea what combination of numbers would produce any result. In fact, only Stanley's boss knew this, since the panel withheld access to the boss's greatest, darkest secret, and so he had assigned the keypad a combination that only he could possibly know: the number of his freshman dorm number in college, 1957. But of
What?
course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Okay, so I'm not Stanley then. Okay. Because, wait a minute. What is that? What is that? Look at those lights. Look at that ceiling. What a...
Stanley just sat around twiddling his
I'm
thumbs.
trying to jump.
Trying to input anything on the keypad
Shut
was
up.
useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 1957.
Maybe you should tell me that when I'm staring at the key panel. But I would like to point out to you that your lights don't line up with your ceiling.
1957.
Shut the hell up. So that's a... Maybe if they made another version, they might want to fix the ceiling and the lights. No. 0, 8, 9. 555. 1337. What was the number again? I forgot.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. Stanley ventured forth into the newly opened passageway.
That's what you call a Deus Ex Machina. That's when the story doesn't actually make sense. Like some miracle happens to allow the plot to continue. These lights look pretty good. They're completely out of place in this corridor though, because they're too fancy for this place. They're not utilitarian enough, you see what I mean? Like the uplight and downlights, they're feature lighting. And it's not really appropriate here, because the point of the uplight and the downlight is that so the light's not pointing straight at your face, so you don't get the glare, right? When you put them on a staircase like this, you get the glare anyway. So, whoever designed this doesn't know anything about interior design. And these steps are kind of way too small. Who made these stairs, man? Look at this. Those stairs are like half as big as they should be. Look, how big is my feet? Wow, I mean, if you made stairs like this, people are gonna kill themselves, break their necks falling down them. I don't know, game designer, you obviously haven't studied architecture.
As he drew deeper into the bowels of the building, Stanley had no idea where he was or what this place held. And just as he began to think he might not discover a thing, he emerged into a long room to find rows and rows of monitors, screens with a number above it. Stanley noticed, however, that these were not random numbers, but the number of employees who worked in the building, his co-workers. Even his own number, 427, had a place on the wall. But why a setup so elaborate, he asked. Was this simple surveillance, or something even more? And as if in answer to his question, the wall slid open before him, revealing the ultimate truth of the situation.
The door doesn't have a door frame, and okay. So this guy he's not an architect. That's fine. That's
An
fine.
enormous control panel Stanley discovered, but not one that controlled simple machinery. Buttons were labeled with emotions. Happy, sad. Levers and knobs controlled actions. Walking, eating, doing